All right, welcome back to Marathon Mortgage Happy Hour. I'm Mike Witzak.
I'm Rory Farrell, and we have a special guest here today.
I'm Shaun, Paone.
Welcome. OCF Group.
Thanks for having me.
Sorry about the hiccup there. This is our not our first time doing this.
The technical difficulties.
Yeah, some technical difficulties here. Anyway, we're talking about you guys are from Glenside. You grew up in North Hills.
She's with the OCF team, on the Jeff Silva team. That's what we covered in the previous version of this podcast that Mike ruined.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. All 2 minutes of it. So I guess first we'll start off with what are we sipping on today?
Yeah, I was mentioning that last time we were trying to get the schedule going with Shaun a couple weeks ago, and she had requested the Lagunitas Hoppy Refresher, which is actually not even an NA beer. It's a sparkling hop water, so it's basically sparkling water with hops added to it. And it is dry January for me and Michael, so that's what we went with. You got it? Mm-hmm. Cool.
It's good, isn't it?
It is good.
Lagunitas is good. I mean, everything they do is good.
Yeah.
They're out of Petaluma, which is Northern California.
Did you bring this in before? Did somebody bring this in?
Yeah, we've had it before, yeah.
because I've had it in the
good.
fridge before. Yeah, it's very
Nice and refreshing. How does
like
it stack up to your Celsius, though?
Well, this has caffeine in it
Yeah.
So you need
and
some.
burns body fat.
There you
I
go.
don't
Well,
think
all
this
right.
does that.
Sorry, Celsius wins this one, Lagunitas. Sorry about
Yeah.
that. But yeah, we're doing dry January, which throws a little bit of a
Awesome.
wrench in the podcast. But there are so many great non-alcoholic options now. So I got a couple stacked up in the fridge, and we'll rip through them this
We
month.
got through it last January.
Yeah,
Well,
we
you
had.
got through it. I didn't. I got about 12 days in, and then it was all gone. So, but yeah, let's kind of get into you. Where you grew up, like where you from? How'd you get involved with Jeff's team? Were you in real estate your whole life? Kind of give us a little bit of a
That's the
backstory.
backstory.
I grew up not far from here in Glenside.
Yeah.
Went to Bishop McDevitt High School, as did my parents, all my aunts and uncles. I'm kind of like that girl. Like, do you ever see, like in the movie, where like the big, handsome, rich guy from the old neighborhood comes back for
Oh, yeah.
Christmas,
Yeah.
and then there's like that single mom that's like working at the ice skating rink.
That's you. Is
Never
that what you're
laugh.
saying? You.
Yeah, that's like me, like trying to make ends meet at the local rink.
They should write a movie about you.
No, I'm joking. But yeah, I've just kind of lived here my whole life, and so did my family.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, there's
you
pros and
know?
cons to all of that
Yeah.
for sure.
But I kind of I fell into the mortgage business in like my early 20s.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew this. She
No,
was
I
mortgage
didn't.
first, so
I
you're one
thought
of the.
she made like a mess up. She was like, I fell into the
No,
mortgage
she
industry.
started mortgage, which there's been a couple people who have done mortgages that have been
Yeah.
on the podcast who are now realtors, and I think it's a really interesting dynamic to have that experience. So talk to that a
Oh,
little
it
bit.
definitely makes it easier for you to be a realtor if you have mortgage and settlement procedure
Yeah.
experience, I think. So I did that for a little bit. I had a friend in high school whose brother, remember the subprime market? You probably don't. You weren't born yet.
How old were
Yeah.
you? Were you even born?
I was when the market collapsed. I was 9 years old. So I saw the
His
the
whole
movie.
childhood was leading up to that.
I was 29. So.
I saw the movie with Ryan Gosling. If that,
Oh, The Big Short.
yeah.
Yeah. So I had a friend in high school whose brother was an LO. He worked for a company called Nova Star. I don't know if you remember
I
that.
don't remember Nova Star now.
And I was like, wow, this guy makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
How is he
I do
doing
that?
this?
What do I have to learn? He gave me the best piece of advice, and it was 100 million years ago. But he's like, learn this business from the back forward.
Okay.
So I did. I got a job at Countrywide, and I was at the front desk, and I was kind of like the mail girl. You know, answered the phone, transfer calls, put everybody's mail into the little boxes. And then it just kind of graduated, and I went to work for a mortgage company in Bluebell.
Okay.
And I was there for a long time. And then I myself joined the subprime market for a little bit. So
Yeah.
I wasn't really part of the Big Short, but it happened
While you were in the
when
industry.
I was in the industry.
Wow.
Yeah. So I did that for a little while, did some subprime loans. That's kind of how I got started in like selling, because prior to that I was doing processing and closing packages and stuff like that. So and then I went to work for a builder for their in-house mortgage company, and I was there for a while, and that's when the Big Short happened, and pretty much everybody got laid off, and I was making like really, really good money.
Yeah,
for,
well,
like,
especially with a builder too. Like we
Yeah.
compete against builder mortgage companies all the time now.
Yeah.
It's like you have the business in house. It's like not that it falls in your lap, but you have a leg up when you're
Yeah,
selling
it's
those
getting like
places.
Yeah.
fed to you almost. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, great, what am I going to do? I just bought my first house when I get laid off. And I'm like,
Oh Jesus.
well, I know what I'll do. I'll become a realtor.
Obviously.
Because then I can have babies and work.
And do like
I can
part
do it
time, and it's so
all.
Yeah.
easy.
I could do it part time. All I gotta do is open a door. Wrong. If
Yeah.
I
And
could
how old
go-
were you when you were having those notions?
Like 28.
Okay, cool. So still like right around when your age, you're like
Yeah.
immature and dumb and didn't know anything, right?
Okay.
Mike?
Right. Yeah.
Rude.
So, I mean, I just really had no idea what was involved with being a real estate agent at all.
I mean, you had experience with working with them, but not
Yeah.
on
and
that
I
side.
didn't like them. When I didn't.
You're like,
the
I could do this
realtors
better.
when I was on the other side. I know. We always say, oh, you went to the dark side. Yeah, that's what I did. So, yeah, I was doing property management for a while when I first started out right down the street at Dan Hellwig.
Oh yeah, we know that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dan.
Yeah, Mandy's a good friend of mine, and so I was doing property management part time for them, and kind of getting my feet wet with selling too. So I was
Okay.
doing a lot of rentals. They manage about 250 to 300 properties, and they're all independently owned. So it's not
geez,
like
yeah.
you're going to one, complex and showing these apartments.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
in Chestnut Hill, you're in North Wales, you're all over the place. So I did that for a couple of years, and then I just went into selling full time.
What made you make the jump
Here
from
I am.
rentals to was it just the natural progression of your
Well,
career,
that
or is it?
job, property management? I mean, I can only speak for myself. That job sucked.
Yeah.
I mean, I was on the phone all day long with like a broken garbage disposal, or roommates fighting, or same people not paying their rent every month, or I'd have to go to like eviction court, and
Oh,
they're
fun.
all over the
That's
place
fun.
too, right? And like play a role in the evictions too. I'm like 9 months.
Yeah, the character
pregnant,
witness or like the expert witness.
Yeah. Like meet the sheriff there and kick the people out.
It's not fun.
I know.
You want your real estate career to be, hey, I'm helping people buy this house. It's
Yeah.
monumental experience. It's a big deal. Like this is
Yeah.
fun. And you're like, no, they didn't pay their rent. Kick them out.
So I think that kind of everything started to align once I was going into selling full time, because now I'm at the age now, like 30 or right before 30, where all my friends are getting married.
Yeah,
buying houses.
perfect. Right.
And a lot of their parents are downsizing. So I just kind of fell into it, I
Yeah.
guess. And
Well, that's what I tell Mike now. It's like now his friends are, graduated college, first job, making some money. And then, they're going to start buying their houses soon and getting married and having their kids and, buying their second properties in a couple years after that. So, he's hitting this industry, he's getting his feet wet while he and they are all young. And now, as he's got the experience and he has the knowledge and the experience, the expertise, it's like, boom, you're in a prime position to start taking advantage of that. And also he's great at social media, staying in touch with old
Yeah.
people, like just always being connected. Whereas like when we were growing up and we were starting this industry, it's like you literally had to like door knock and, phone calls and emails. Now it's like he can reach 200 people a day pretty
Yeah.
quickly. So
absolutely can. How long have you been doing it?
4 years, 3 days ago.
Okay.
yeah, 4-year anniversary with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have no gray hair yet.
Not yet. I think my girlfriend found one on this side the other day, but that's about it. But yeah, no, I love it. So no complaints really yet. But
And
yeah,
you- and-
it's been like, it's just ebbed
been
and
hell.
flows. It's
Yeah.
like, it's been hell. It's sucked. But at this point in time, I'm just over it. I'm used to it. So I'm hoping the market turns around, like I'm sure you are.
Yeah. And
you know.
you got in, 4 years? That was like when COVID was happening. Right?
Yep. Yeah.
So, it was good for those,
closer.
what,
Just bring it closer.
It was good for those 2 years, though, right?
It was good for like 6 months.
It was good for me and Tom and the
Yeah.
people who had the pipeline of refis.
Oh, right.
He came in and he didn't have that
It was
book of
good.
business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was a lot of work, but it wasn't.
You learned
good.
a lot
Yeah, I
quick.
learned a lot real quick. But like I didn't have the business to get 150 refis or 200 refis. I didn't have anybody to call, And then it's like, then I had to start going out to real estate offices and cold calling realtors and trying to like meet up with realtors, and nobody's in offices and nobody's doing anything and there's no business going on. So I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And they're like, oh, you're not doing anything wrong. It's just the whole market sucks. And they're like, oh, it'll be better next year. That was 3 years ago. So yeah, it's been crazy ever since. But
I mean, the fact that you got in, then it'll just give you longevity throughout your career.
I agree.
Like, because if you can get in and survive, like when I got in 08 or 07, end of 07, beginning of 08, it was like, okay, great, I'm a realtor now, but where am I getting business?
Yeah.
What am I doing?
I said to him, if you can survive now,
Right.
it can only get better.
Yeah.
When it gets better, who knows? But you just gotta, it's like you said, attrition. You just gotta keep on keeping on.
Yeah, and I guess when it's really, really good, stockpile money for when it's not.
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it is very it's a roller coaster. Well, what we do for a living.
Yeah.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Yeah.
And I mean, and you've been doing it forever, so you've seen the ebbs and the flows, and you know how to manage those, or at least you can kind of wrap your head around the.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm 18 years, not including the 7 years in the mortgage business. I mean, and I mean, I'll be honest, I still go through it like,
The
all right,
stress.
I'll go till April. But what are you doing about April? Meanwhile, it just became January.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know.
So I feel like our years, like loan officers and realtors, our years go by so much quicker because we're always like planning
Forward-thinking.
3
Yep.
months in
Yep.
advance.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we get a deal,
Yeah.
but it doesn't. You don't get paid on it for months sometimes.
Right,
So
right.
you got to
Yeah.
think of it.
Great.
Yeah. I mean, we often in this office look at like how many applications do we take, which is great
Right.
because it's kind of a measure of like how much business you're doing, how many people you're talking to. But if it doesn't settle for 30, 60, 90 days, like I just was looking, I was like, oh, I'm not going to get paid till 2025 for that. So that doesn't really
Yeah.
count for last year.
Yeah.
But then you forget like the ones that you were closing at the end of 2020 or getting applied at the end of 2023 were closing in January 20. So though it all kind of like
Boils over.
but it's hard
Yeah.
to wrap. You're like, oh, cool, got another loan. Doesn't count for this year.
Yeah, I know.
But none of that matters. You know, it's more of like a
Leg up for the
mental
next
thing.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how'd you get hooked up with Jeff's team?
Divine intervention.
Divine Intervention?
Just being around the industry, both of you
well,
forever.
Yeah, we both were at KW for a number of years.
Yep.
And kind of just through there, like a lot of mutual acquaintances and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of looking for a change, and I think there's two types of agents who really enjoy being on a team and agents who just want to work solo. And I really like being on a team.
Yeah.
We have a great time. We have so many systems in place that it really makes my job so much easier being on the team.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think that's one of the main, I mean, you tell me, like one of the main benefits of being on a team, it's like you don't have to do everything. Like you can focus on what you're really good at. It's
Yeah.
like selling houses. You don't have to worry about so much the transaction coordination of the whole
Oh
thing.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to do that. I
Yeah, you
used
can.
to do all of it myself. Yeah. But you just wouldn't sleep and you'd get nothing else done.
Yeah.
Like, even now, people are like, "What are you doing on the 17th? Can you go to lunch?" I don't. Like I have no idea what my day.
That's why you were in the office today. We're like, we're nailing her down. We're getting the podcast out.
Yeah. I mean, like I try to have a plan for the day, but stuff happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Pulled in
definitely. And
different
then
directions.
You gotta be
obviously if a client calls, you're like, this is my bit. Like I got to drop everything and go. Like that's, you can plan as much as you want, but our business is so like random. Like you might get a call or you might get a Zillow lead that comes in that
Yeah.
actually answers the phone and wants to go see a house. You're like, boom,
Right.
let's do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then are you guys, you're based out of Margate at the moment, right? Or are you based out of both Pennsylvania and Margate?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you bounce back and forth a lot. You'd still
I'm not
live.
licensed in Jersey.
Okay.
So,
Just
yeah.
go down there and work out of the office every now and again. And
Yeah.
or no.
Team
Just for,
build and
team bonding
camaraderie,
and stuff. Yeah. That's what I thought. But yeah, no, it seems like, I mean, there's a really cool space down here or up here. There's a cool space down there.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know where I know some people work out of there. Some people work up here. I don't know. the dynamic really. Darcy's up here a lot, right?
Yeah, and you're up. I mean, you live
Darcy
up here,
doesn't
so
live far from here. Her and I both, for the most part, we work from home.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
but you can always come visit us at the office.
Right, I know.
Tacos on me.
It's really exciting here.
Can you believe I offered tacos to everyone up there? Nobody wanted tacos. Not
Damn.
one person.
He didn't offer tacos to me. I would have said.
Well, no, I wasn't going to go if they weren't getting tacos. I wasn't going to go by myself. So, all right. Well, I know you got to get out of here. I have a 2:30 call. Let's do two things. One, give me something that you're like excited about for 2025, whether it's, working with this new team, or you feel like the industry is going to kind of have a positive turn, or just looking forward to doing new systems. What are you excited about? You got to be excited about something for 2025. If not, make it up.
I've been starting to move into the investor realm. Again, not something I planned, something I kind of fell into. So I'm excited about that because that's leading me towards both commercial, residential, and then the flips with the investors. I mean, honestly, that's how I survived last year.
Yeah.
Was the investors.
Okay, cool.
They don't really care about the interest rate.
No.
Is that are you getting your clients word of mouth, or is that something that you actively were pursuing, finding those leads?
I fell into the
Just got lucky.
investor spot. I just happen to know a lot of people from the area. My dad was a plumber. My grandfather was a plumber. My uncles, like everybody, and they know tile guys, and they know builders, and they know a guy who can build your deck. So,
And especially if you've been in this area and your family's been in there, it's a local tight-knit community. You're going to know people.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So then I somehow find them like
There you
off
go.
market.
Yeah.
That's where they're not competing with anybody.
Right. Yeah.
Like I may know a couple that's getting a divorce, and they're like, "Hey, we want to sell our house. We don't want to do any repairs. We just need to get out."
Yeah.
And then the investors come in. They make it real easy for them.
Cool. Perfect.
So
Often cash, I assume. Quick
cash,
settlements,
they
no
flip 'em real
issues.
quick,
Yeah.
You
So you get the sell and the buy side.
I do.
Oftentimes. Yeah.
Sometimes I sell it 3 times.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, it's nice.
Triple dip, they call that.
Not bad.
Yeah, repeat
Not bad.
business. Get them and repeat
There you
business.
go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that was something you're excited about, and how about a win? You got a win that you're excited about?
Win.
It could be personal, it could be professional.
I just sold my own listing. That was on Monday. I have a new one going up today.
Nice.
Nice.
That's great.
Good, especially in a slow. I mean, I don't know about how you
Yeah.
generally feel, but it just physically meant like it's just quiet.
Yeah.
A lot of
Very
phone calls are
quiet, right?
coming
Yeah.
through. Just like people are like, wait, nah, we'll see what happens with the new administration. We'll see what happens with rates and yada yada. Or I'm just coming out of the slump of Christmas and New Year's and all that.
Yeah, I don't think they're awake yet.
Yeah, I don't think so
It's
either.
coming, but I don't think it's there yet. I think the more the inventory grows, hopefully.
Yeah, right.
I think the busier.
Yeah,
Okay.
I hope. Yeah, inventory is a key. I think definitely.
Yeah.
In my experience, people aren't really caring what rates are right now. They're like, I need to get a house. So
Yeah, I mean, you can sit around and wait forever to get a better interest rate, but
yeah, and then everyone else will be in the
it
market.
costs you more in the long run anyway. So.
Yep. All right, cool. Well, thank you
Yeah.
for coming on.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having
Thanks
me.
for suggesting the
Thanks so much.
Lagunitas. A great
right,
suggestion.
yeah,
And happy 2025. Looking forward
You
to
too.
seeing you and
Cheers.
seeing the success. Cheers. Happy Friday.